biggest fear for an adolescent is written all the way throughout this text. The biggest fear of an adolescent, Jesse?
Not fitting in.
I want to tell you something, but that I never talk about. Not because I'm ashamed of it, but because most people who hear it don't necessarily believe it. They think I might be exaggerating. They think I'm using this for content, but I'm really not. This is just what happened. And if you're sitting somewhere right now feeling like the world forgot about you, like nothing is working, like nobody sees what you're building, then this message is absolutely for you. Because I've been exactly where you are. I know exactly what you feel. And many times I would say that I've been somewhere worse. I was 10 years old when my parents divorced. I know a lot of people have been through that, and I'm not asking for sympathy at all. But here's what it looked like for me specifically. There were days, not one day, not one bad week, but days where I had to go buy groceries for my siblings. Simply because there was no food on the table. Because the adults in the house were too deep in their own darkness to make sure that even their kids ate. My father, I won't go deeper on that. You don't need the details. My mother, she held it together alone. Strong doesn't necessarily even cover it. She was standing when everything around her was completely collapsing. I watched that, and I took notes without knowing I was taking notes. During this time, I also switched schools. New school, new people. Nobody knew me. And I was different. I thought differently. I wanted things that other kids my age weren't thinking about yet. I just simply didn't fit in. I didn't even know how to pretend to fit in. So I got bullied for it, like kids do. Not one time, not 1 year, but for years. There's a train station in Sweden called Tullinge. There's a room there, by the tracks, a blue control box. And I always stood there waiting for the train. I always stood there because that was the place where it was the closest exit to my school at the specific train station I was supposed to arrive at. I looked at those tracks and I thought about stepping in front of the train so many times, man. Then I was a kid. I had nothing. I had nobody. And I was in so much pain that the only exit I could see was that one. But by the freaking grace of God, I didn't. I'm not gonna dramatize it too much. I'm not going to perform emotion around it. I'm just gonna say, if you're in that place right now, if you're standing at your own version of that station, stay. Because what I didn't know standing there is that I was about to become someone. I just simply couldn't see it yet. Between the ages of 12 and 18, I tried everything, and I mean everything. I wanted to be a professional skateboarder, and I went all in. I wanted to be a musician. I went all in. I found Casey Neistat on YouTube, and I thought, that's it. That's what I want. I started to make videos. I went all in. Every single time, people laughed. Why are you doing that? That's never gonna work. You're all over the place. And they were right. I was all over the place. But they were wrong about what it meant. They saw chaos. I was actually building something. I just didn't have the language for it yet. Because the one thing that cut through every single thing that I tried, skateboarding, music, YouTube, all of it, was that I went completely all in. Every time. No half measures. No testing the water. I burned the goddamn boat before I even got on it. And over time, something shifted. The laughing didn't stop. The doubt didn't stop, but I stopped hearing it. I got so used to being the weird guy, the everywhere guy, the guy who people wrote off, that at some point it just became background noise. It stopped being a wound, it became fuel. I freaking knew, that if I kept moving this way, I would land somewhere. I didn't know where, I didn't know when, but I knew. 2018, I found trading. I wasn't too serious about it, I was just curious, right? Just yet another thing that I wanted to try. But 2020, I got serious with it. If you know trading, you know what getting serious looks like. It looks like losing money. It looks like confusion. It looks like reading everything, watching everything, using every single indicator ever made, and still not understanding what price is actually doing. That was me for years. 2024, I found Dave. I found SBS. And something clicked that had never clicked before. Not because the information was magic, but because it lined up with the way I'd always thought. Structured, clean, no noise. 11 days after Stoic dropped SBS, I had built the shit show model. 11 days. That's not arrogance. That's just what happens when someone who has been going all in their whole life finally finds the right direction to point it. The shit show isn't just a trading model. It's the product of a kid who had to buy his siblings groceries, who stood at the train station and chose to stay, who got laughed at for years and kept going anyways to find his thing. Every piece of this was built on that foundation. I'm not telling you this story so you feel sorry for me. I'm not telling you my story so you feel sorry for me. I'm telling you this story because I want you to understand something. The people who doubt you are not your problem. The darkness you came from is not your ceiling, man. And the fact that you're still here, still watching, still learning, still trying means that you're already doing something that is very important. You're moving. Keep moving. If there's one thing that you should keep from this video, take this. The weird guy wins. He always does. He just has to stay long enough to see it. And to you, Adrian, look at where you're at now. Remember this. You're now here. You might be a millionaire, yeah. Good job or something, right? But let's make sure people don't believe you again. You know what your next goal is. The weird guy always wins. He always does. He just has to stay long enough to see it.
I'm going to have you do an activity. These are anagrams. Just do the first one only. Go ahead and solve it. An anagram is rearrange the letters to form a word. When you're done, I need to see your hand raised. Keep your hands up, please. This isn't meant to be difficult. Let's just go to number 2. Don't even worry about number 1. We're going to go ahead and do number 3. For number 3, rearrange the letters, and as soon as you do, go ahead and put your hand up. Here's what you need to know. You were both given 2 different lists. This side of the room was given these 3 words. And left side of the room, here you go. They were given bat. What would the word be? The second one, they were given lemon. Brian, the word? Melon. They were easy. Both of you were given the third word, which was the same. The third word was cinerama, which was American. Your first 2 words on this side of my classroom were not solvable. I was able to induce something called learned helplessness in the left side of the room very easily within about 5 minutes. When you saw the right side of the room raising their hands because they already had the task done. Jory.
Felt stupid.
You felt stupid?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt rushed.
felt rushed. Joelle?
I was even more confused.
You were even more confused because they all got it and you were still struggling. Chelsea?
Frustrated.
Frustrated. What happened by the time you got to the third word? Because I'm here to tell you, this side of the room is not significantly more intelligent than this side of the room. That was a random assignment. So what happened to show the differences? Why did you have more of a difficult time with the third word, which was the exact same word? Brian?
My confidence was shot.
What you experienced was a term called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is often used in the academic literature to mean what? Jory?
Basically, they fail once or can't do something one time, and then they apply that to everything in the future.
Biggest fear for an adolescent is written all the way throughout this text. The biggest fear of an adolescent, Jesse?
Not fitting in.